Welcome back to Recap World. Today we are going to recap a 2017 thriller horror movie titled 12 Feet Deep. Two sisters must survive an entire night trapped beneath the fiberglass cover of a public pool. They are at the mercy of the night janitor, who sees the trapped sisters as an opportunity to solve some of her own problems by taking money off them. But before we begin, please consider subscribing to our channel. Now, without wasting any further time, let's begin, shall we? Our movie opens at a pool where the manager pins the closer notice around the pool while on the phone. Bree, a young lady, leaves her engagement ring in her handbag so she can continue swimming practice later. Bree's sister Jonah, who has recently returned from drug rehab, joins them in the pool. Meanwhile, the janitor Clara is discovered by the management for taking money from the manager's lost and found area. For the third time, Clara is forced to finish up the cleaning pool today to get paid or she will be fired. It is time to close the pool and the manager requests them that all swimmers should leave. Bree finds that her engagement ring is gone while packing. Jonah notices it is stuck in metal grate in the water, so Bree dives in to retrieve the ring. However, the ring becomes jammed in the grate, so Jonah chases Bree to assist her, but she is unsuccessful. The manager is pleased that everyone has departed on time, so he presses the button to cover the pool for the upcoming long holiday. Jonah and Bree makes an attempt to appear, but it's too late. Bree tries to calm Jonah down as she becomes enraged. Unfortunately, no one is there at the pool at the moment to assist the sisters. The two eventually manage to lift the cover, but it is made of fiberglass, so it is nearly impenetrable. Jonah begins to yell at Bree for putting their life at danger for silly ring. Bree then declares that it is the proposal ring, which she wishes to show off to Jonah. Bree and Jonah discovers a small hole when inspecting the fiberglass cover for weak places, but it is too small that even a hand cannot get through it. Jonah admits that this is time that she is envious of Bree's life while in drug recovery. Bree has a perfect life as in wedding, whilst Jonah is struggling in rehab, leaving Jonah to cope up with her problems on her own after few years in the center. Bree discovers that Jonah intended to throw her ring earlier. Soon after, the two argue and Bree decides to return the ring alone. She finally gets it out of the metal grating. Later, the sisters resolve to stop fighting and instead seek counseling. Bree advises raising the grate, but Jonah is correct. It is too heavy to open. Time passes until the pool's automatic lights turn off. David, Bree's fiance, continues to call, but her phone is currently in her purse. Jonah blames David for the hours of ringing, but does not go looking for them. Jonah appears to have lost trust in David from the start. The sisters dispute about David once more. Bree soon has a terrible headache. As a result of this, she reveals that she was diagnosed with diabetes 3 years ago and that her blood sugar is currently decreasing significantly. She will go into a diabetic coma if she does not take her insulin shot at a regular basis. Regrettably, the insulin shot is now in her purse. Jonah is taken aback, but she assures Bree that she will take the injection as soon as she can. The two then use the plastic object found in the pool to expand the hole. When Jonah inquires about the family while she is gone, Bree reveals that her father was an angry drinker and drug abuser, and that Bree intended to fire the house that caused his death. Suddenly, the two hear the door open. It turns out that the janitor Clara is getting ready to go. Clara is taken aback by the fact that there are two ladies stuck in the pool. Clara enters the control room after realizing the camera system is on and switches it off. She takes Bree's pocket bag with her cash, phone and credit card, making the sisters to assume she is going to help. Clara then requests a female credit card PIN code. Jonah prevents Bree from doing so. They begin to doubt Clara's unusual demeanor. Clara discusses her time in prison and how she is currently suffering with her children and monthly obligations. Clara shuts off the pool heater while the sisters are stalling. Bree has no choice but to compromise with Clara by handing her the PIN number in the hopes of gaining her assistance. Clara then walks away with the card, promising to return as soon as she can to withdraw the money from Bree's bank, leaving the female with a little alternative but to wait night away. Jonah goes deep down to the metal crate as Bree becomes weaker. Jonah is fatigued from the cold water and can't deal with the metal crate alone, so she returns to the surface, asking herself for being coward and powerless person, and the sisters embrace to remain warm. Clara returns as promised in the morning, mocking the two unfortunate sisters. Jonah tries to talk to the janitor at this time, asking her for her assistance in administrating the insulin shot to Bree. Clara threatens the sister with death in the pool for their foolishness because there is only $80 in Bree credit card. Jonah has intends to punish Clara for her cruelty and failure to keep her earlier words. Jonah pretends to cry and requests that Clara go closer to the hole in the pool cover. Jonah abruptly stabs Clara's ear with a sharp plastic as she places her ear to the hole. Clara cries in pain and goes to inspect how terrible the wound is, then uses a bandage to stem the bleeding from her ear. The janitor then turns on the automatic pool cleaning system, which causes the sisters to choke on chlorine. Clara understands that the risk of her actions and turn it off after a few minutes. While the sisters suffer and beg for aid, Clara claims that she has nothing to lose in the world at this moment. She requires the sisters to pay the consequences of their actions. Clara demands that the sisters hand over the most valuable possessions, Bree's engagement ring, Pride of the Suffering. Bree grudgingly gives Clara her ring and Clara again exits the pool with the ring. Jonah sobs depression, blaming herself for everything Bree soothes Jonah and apologizes for her actions. After several hours in the water, Bree begins to have hallucinations. She sees the pool cover eventually open and David arrives to rescue her, but Jonah is not present. She abruptly awakens, realizing that Jonah is actually fading in the water due to exhaustion and coldness. Bree cautiously moves around and discovers Jonah holding the sharp plastic directly at her neck, intending to take her life. Bree pleads Jonah to stop and to believe that they will be alive. Jonah, on the other hand, believes that even if they get over this, Bree has a wonderful life to look forward to, whereas she will be sinking drugs once more. Bree sobs and declares that she always needs Jonah in her life and that no one abandons her as she believes. Jonah cools. The two sisters reconcile after all these years. While Clara is putting on Bree's ring, David calls again. Clara listens to the voice messages and learns that David will call 911 because he hasn't seen her home in fear of being sent to prison again. Clara arrives to the pool to speak with the sisters and she wants of them to promise her not to reveal anything about her to anyone else and she will abandon the two in the pool forever. Jonah and Bree agrees, embracing each other when they are joyful. Clara chooses to open the pool cover and let Bree and Jonah out, but the passcode she was given by the manager is no longer valid, which she reveals to the two of them and declares she has had enough of predicament. Clara then departs, allowing the sisters to choose their futures, leaving Jonah and Bree to repeat their nightmare. Another night passes and Bree slips into a coma. Fortunately, Jonah is able to jolt her out of it. Bree confesses that after the accident that killed their father, she stopped him from fleeing, telling him, "I murdered that monster." Jonah decides to attempt again to lift the metal grate. After numerous attempts, she takes Bree's towel and attaches it to the grate. She is finally able to remove one piece. Returning to Bree, Jonah is astounded to discover that she has passed out and drowned in the water. Jonah must perform CPR on Bree in order for her to get conscious. Jonah uses all of her remaining strength to tear the cover off the hole. She rips off the crack to widen the hole, severely bleeding her arm. Finally, the sisters escape from the pool and Jonah swiftly administers the insulin dose to Bree. And unsure if Bree will be alive, Clara emerges out of nowhere with a rifle and pointing it at the two. She threatens to kill Bree and Jonah after pondering what would happen if they did not drown in the pool, as she does not want to return to prison. Strangely, Clara slowly lowers the rifle and returns the ring to Jonah, feeling both guilty and empathetic. Jonah summons the police and an ambulance to assist Bree, instructing Clara to leave before they arrive. Finally, Bree is awake, getting the ring from Jonah. The two sisters burst into tears, thankful that they have been able to escape their hell. Bree has been transported to the hospital, and this is where the movie ends. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, until next time.